Matt Evans, welcome. Let's start by talking about techUK. Tell us about it and its mission.
So techUK represents over 1,000 member companies, so businesses both large and small, and we come together to help deliver the positive outcomes for technology across people, society, the economy and planet. And we do that by trying to bring together the tech sector, really from chips to clicks, to engage with stakeholders, be it government, policymakers, regulatory makers, or the third sector as well, so that people can understand what's coming next.
What challenges do you face with that?
So the sector's really diverse. So actually trying to be that representative body can bring its own challenges, but it's also about making sure that we're understanding both the potential positive, which we really want to maximise, but also the negative impact sometimes of technology and how we can negate those as well.
Which area do you think you most need to focus on at the moment for the UK to thrive?
So I think growth is at the absolute sort of pinnacle of the challenges facing the UK. Technology and telecoms are absolute drivers of that growth. So for instance, in the last 10 years, the technology sector itself has delivered around £150 billion to the UK economy. Recently, the technology sector was valued at over $1 trillion. It's one of only 3 countries in the world to have that valuation. But really the goal, the prize over the next 4 or 5 years is about how we can spread that technology, not just from sort of the sector itself, which is important, but how we can spread that throughout the rest of the economy. That's where you get your productivity gains. That's where you get your growth, is if we can both supercharge the adoption and the diffusion of the skills needed to deliver that adoption of that technology across the economy.
And I want to get into that more, but just on that note, because we're looking at the UK economy in the UK, but how would you say global technology impacts the UK's progression?
So technology and IT has been an integrated supply chain right across the world for the last 30, 40 years plus. You can see that in the fact that a lot of semiconductors come from Southeast Asia. You can see it in the technologies that we've probably all got on our phones, or indeed where those phones have been developed. But the UK is a real pioneer in some of those areas. In semiconductor, actually a lot of the design, the intellectual property, the UK is fantastic at. We're really good at sort of delivering a service approach to other areas. That's a real strength of ours. We should lean into that. But of course, the UK is part of that global supply chain. We feel those supply chain shocks when they come, but we also can be in a great position to reap the benefits of that technology as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and that's exactly what I was trying to understand more about, so thank you. techUK plays an active role in helping to plan, reform and shape policy. How does this work and why is it important?
So it's really about trying to understand what the government is trying to deliver, and clearly with the new government, growth is a huge issue, but so is public sector reform, so is making sure that we deliver on our net zero agenda. And it's helping those policymakers understand what those technological developments are. So really bringing our members together so that they can interact directly with government. So government can understand the impact of some of those policy changes it might be seeking to make, but also the opportunity that's out there. Actually, maybe they can go further in some areas because the technology is now at a maturity level that they can adopt that they can drive it forward. So it's really about trying to bring together the sector, increase understanding, deliver on those positive outcomes.
Which areas do you think the government needs to focus on?
So I think it's got a good job in terms of being able to deliver on the telecoms networks that are already being rolled out at the moment. There's things it can do around planning. So it's already making a big push around planning and making sure that they can change that. So it's much more of a permissive environment to deliver telecoms networks, and that's both the fibre networks in the ground, but also the mobile networks that we all use. and increasingly are being used not just by us as individuals on our phones, but also in terms of the automation that that's driving, in terms of maybe the social care that that can enable. So it's about making sure that the infrastructure is there. It's about making sure that the investment environment is there as well. And also making sure that we've got the right skills and ecosystem to be able to drive that adoption across the public sector and across the economy as a whole as well.
Matt Evans, thank you very much.
Thank you.